Hi everybody, today is September 25th, 2013. Been some interesting developments. There is a mysterious FEMA Region 3 alert that has some folks on edge. And evidently the surveillance blimps that the U.S. government was going to place along the borders of the United States, more specifically outside of Baltimore, is now up in place. It was supposed to be 10,000 feet up in the air and be in place sometime in September. So following the breadcrumb trail of FEMA orders, retired state senator Sheldon Songstad of South Dakota issued an emergency FEMA regional alert on August 13th. Now living here, I can tell you that there was no reason to call an emergency alert for any reason around that date. Region 3 is comprised of Washington, D.C., Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia. Songstad's research turned up some very interesting facts. Each item on its own could go unnoticed, but the collective facts may be worthy of your attention and scrutiny. The U.S. government appears to be preparing for a major event. It appears that this event will be staged for approximately October 1st, and that's when the budget is due. So let's look at the numbers and dates. UN peacekeepers began training the 4th week of July and will complete their 9-week training by October 1st. These UN peacekeepers are learning English as well as U.S. weapons systems and urban warfare training. How many troops are training? 386,000 troops. The Center of Disease Control ordered $11 million worth of antibiotics. And where are they going? FEMA Region 3. When are they due to be there? They have to be there by October 1st. This coupled with the fact that the health organization held an emergency meeting, the second such meeting in history, to discuss the MERS coronavirus. Well, actually now they've had 3 of these meetings. This is quite unsettling. The WHO determined that a vaccine must be in place by October 1st. Periodic testing of GPS and communication satellites is normal, but coordinating their testing for the first time with a test date of September 29th is noteworthy. They've also recently been testing emergency text messages to people. All Department of Homeland Security agents must now qualify with sidearms, shotguns, and AR-15s by September 28th. Less lethal qualifications are not mentioned. Has one eyebrow raised? The DHS will receive 2,800 mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles that must be delivered by October 1st, so they must be expecting something sometime after October 1st. All National Guard units will complete their annual 2-week training in riot control and disaster assistance. All units must have their training completed by September 30th. However, the Eastern-based Coast Guard units will not be performing their usual training in the Gulf. This year, they'll be training in Virginia and Delaware for 10 days, beginning tomorrow, September 26th. Coincidentally, the emergency broadcast system will begin daily testing, beginning today, September 25th, through October 2nd. All this kind of reminds me of the bomb-sniffing dogs being trained at the Boston Marathon for the first time ever, and that happened before the bombing. I wonder, are they expecting a shutdown of the government, then the food stamps and Social Security checks, etc. don't go out? Food stamp growth has doubled in the last 10 years. That means there's twice as many people now considered in the poverty level than 10 years ago. And that's just the people that are qualified. There's a lot of different states that have stipulations where people who should get food stamps don't get them. So you got twice as many people on food stamps, and what if they don't get their food stamps because of government shutdown? I've heard estimates as high as 57% of the U.S. population is on food stamps. FEMA purchase orders deserve a little attention too. They ordered over $14.2 million for MREs and heater meals and 22 million pouches of emergency water to be delivered to Region 3 by October 1st. And an additional order of $13.6 million worth of MREs and heater meals will be delivered to Austin by October 1st. Our U.S. military will not be permitted leave from October 28th through November 5th. NORCOM's yearly training for civil unrest is suspended until September 27th to be performed in northeast coastal areas. Dates for release of QE3 report have been moved to October 16th. Over 300 school systems will be issued a 3-day emergency kit for each student in September. This is an article from Minot, North Dakota. They receive backpacks that are filled with emergency supplies for 1,000 of its students. They received a grant of $1,500 through AmeriCorps Campus Compact from Montana Campus Compact. The students were all given a class in emergency preparation, which included a puppet show. And after the puppet show, the children received a backpack filled with a water bottle, a small snack, first aid kit, a small flashlight, and several information sheets about how to access emergency services. This is to help adults in their household, so I guess they were given these backpacks to take home. On the Domestic Preparedness website, they have a whole list of events that are scheduled from the 24th through October 1st. Ohio has a Fire and Rescue EMS Expo for September 25th. The 26th will be the 6th Annual Homeland Defense and Security Education Summit. Pennsylvania will have its 36th Annual Statewide EMS Conference and Pediatric Emergency Care Symposium on the 27th. Toronto, Canada is having its 10th Annual Summit on Emergency and Disaster Planning for colleges, universities, and K-12 schools. That will be on October 1st. On October 3rd in Oregon, they're going to have a EMS conference, and that will be in Bend, Oregon. Then in Tel Aviv, Israel, on October 5th, they're going to have a behind-the-scenes Israeli Counterterrorism and Security Operations exclusive seminar. And there's a list of a whole bunch of conferences that they're going to have in October too. In Houston, Texas, on October 17th, they're going to have a Hot One conference. This is to bring together municipal and industrial firefighters who are not only assigned hazmat responsibilities, but also seek to educate and equip the numerous local, state, and federal agency personnel who play integral roles in unified command on scene at major incidents. So besides the 300 school systems, now how many schools are within those 300 school systems, I don't know, receiving the 3-day emergency kits for each student this month. The retired senator's national preparedness research was sparked by a comment Donald Trump made during a recent appearance on Fox News, On the Record with Greta Van Susteren. Songstad included a video version of his findings with his notice, and his video is going viral, it says. How concerned should we be, or perhaps the question is, how prepared should we be? Perhaps the answer is, better prepared than the government. So it's interesting that Minot, North Dakota made up backpacks and actually sent them home with the kids. They're not being kept there. They're not being kept there at the school. Or maybe they also have other 3 days worth of rations at the school besides the backpacks that were sent home. That's more than likely what's going on. Emergency text messages, blimps, I don't know. Like I said, better prepared than not prepared. Alright, bookmark my site. I'll keep you up to date. Please stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.